In the 1860s, the French colony of Cochin China, modern-day southern Vietnam, was an incredibly expensive, highly controversial outpost. Back in Paris, politicians actively questioned why they were pouring fortunes into a humid, struggling settlement thousands of miles away. To justify its existence, the colony needed a massive, exclusive trade advantage that could outpace France's primary imperial rivals, the British. The prize sat to the north. Imperial China offered a massive, untapped consumer market, and European powers were racing to find the first reliable overland access point. For the French administration, Saigon was never just about the land they occupied. It was the staging ground for a secret backdoor to Chinese wealth. This map illustrates the Mekong hypothesis. Geographers at the time speculated that the massive Mekong River, which emptied near Saigon, might serve as a navigable water highway deep into the southern provinces of China. To test this theory, the French government commissioned a high-risk exploratory mission to sail up the river and chart the absolute unknown. They placed the expedition in the hands of seasoned naval officer Captain Doudart de Lagrée, supported by his intensely ambitious second-in-command, Francis Garnier. On June 5, 1866, the expedition launched from Saigon. It was a massive undertaking, including scientists, artists, and gunboats, all headed into completely unmapped territory. The mission carried artists and botanists, but its purpose remained strictly strategic: find a viable trade route to China before the British could intercept it. The safety of the naval harbor soon gave way to the claustrophobic, menacing reality of the deep river interior. The dream of a commercial highway shattered almost immediately. They found a river unnavigable for trade ships, blocked by violent rapids and massive waterfalls. The environment took a heavy toll. Malaria, dysentery, extreme heat, and constant starvation slowly dismantled the crew as they pushed further north. With the trade route proven impossible, the mission shifted from imperial strategy to a raw fight for daily survival. This line tracks their staggering scientific persistence. Despite the nightmare conditions, the expedition meticulously mapped nearly 10,000 kilometers of territory previously unknown to the West. Against all odds, the surviving crew pushed through the mountains and successfully crossed the border into Yunnan Province, China. Reaching this goal came at a high cost. Commandant de Lagrée, his body broken by disease and the harsh climate, died in the Chinese mountains before the mission was complete. Francis Garnier assumed command, completed the final localized surveys, and led the grueling return journey to the coast while carrying his commander's body. The crew had survived 2 years of disease and 10,000 kilometers of unmapped jungle, yet their data confirmed the worst. The Mekong was a commercial dead end. During the return trip, Garnier identified a replacement candidate for the failed Mekong, the Song Khoi, or Red River, located further north in Tonkin. Garnier arrived back in France as a hero. He spent the following years fiercely lobbying the government to let him explore this new northern route into China. In 1873, he returned to Tonkin. This second mission quickly devolved into an unauthorized, violent military conflict against local forces. Outside the walls of Hanoi, the explorer was ambushed and killed in combat. The relentless obsession to map a commercial route to China had transitioned directly into a violent military escalation. The physical legacy of the 1866 expedition was eventually published in this monumental multi-volume report. However, the crew's scientific discoveries were largely overlooked by the French public, eclipsed by the outbreak of the Franco-Prussian War. While the Mekong proved useless for merchant ships, the topographical maps and tribal records Lagrée and Garnier died to produce became the tactical guides for the French military's eventual conquest of the region. Garnier's scientific records turned unmapped wilderness into manageable territory, proving that 19th-century exploration was the direct precursor to the expansion of the French Empire.